one thing you say in this book is that most people think they don't have anything, but in fact, your entire history of your life is your asset, right? Which is hard for most people to think about.
Well, so there's 5 P's in the book, but if there was a 6th, it would be perspective. So we lose perspective because it's our own life. If you were to watch a movie 24 hours a day, you'd lose perspective of whether it's a good movie or not. It would you'd have your good days and your bad days. Well, the description that I have around perspective is you climb a mountain and you start out and you see this amazing mountain. You climb. As you climb, you struggle. You get frustrated. Sometimes you think, why am I doing this? Sometimes you admire the view and you think this is great. And sometimes you get a breath of fresh air and it feels good. And then you get up to the top of the mountain, and the one thing you cannot see if you're on top of a mountain is the mountain. So you completely lose perspective of the mountain. And what we notice with a lot of entrepreneurs is they massively overlook their own story, their own insights, and what they've got a view of is what everyone else is doing. So they're standing on this mountain of value, and all they're thinking about is like, oh, I just saw someone who's got like a taxi sharing app, and I gotta drop what I'm doing and make a taxi sharing app. Just discovered a friend of mine is making some money on Airbnb, and they've got this like apartment and they're renting it out, and I gotta go off and do this Airbnb thing. And they're just running around looking what other people are doing, and they've completely lost sight of their own value that they're standing on, which is natural because you lose perspective. So, one of the first things that we love to do with people is just to try and retune them into a bit of, their own story, their own struggle, their own network, their own insights, their own case studies, their own methods, their own recipes, and actually say, look, let's just detune you from what everyone else is doing and actually figure out what you know.
How do you do that?
So it's a bit of a process. Part of the process is pitching. So when we take people through the pitching architecture, they can't really look at what other people are doing because they have to look at what their own story is. There's a part of every pitch called authority, and it's about your story, it's your backstory, and all of those sorts of things. And we do a whole day with people, which is about perspective. And we actually go back to some of their. One of the first things we do is we look at some of their critical moments before age 10. We look at some of the peak moments in their teens, and we're looking for themes. We're looking for some of the things that are those moments of joy, moments of frustration, turning points, moments where big decisions were made about life. And it's funny because a lot of people, whatever they're doing now, actually has a holographic resonance going back to like age 10.
Right. Yeah.
You see these stories of in Singapore we've got this guy who's a chiropractor, and he's out there telling people about how he does high energy chiropractic and he restores high performance and all this sort of stuff. And when we did this activity with him, because that sounds like a good thing to say, peak performance. And when we did this activity with him, we actually said, give us some moments like before age 10 where you felt pure joy and where you made important decisions about life. And he describes this moment of wandering down onto this pebble beach, completely alone on the beach, and feeling super grounded and super connected to nature, and picking up a stone and just feeling this cold stone in his hand, and feeling really, really in tune with the waves and the beach and the stone and all this. And he decided that was one of the most amazing feelings, to be centered and grounded and still. So we said, let's change your pitch from peak performance to restoring people to a sense of grounded stillness, because no one's talking about that.
Right. And that's something that resonates with him.
And totally resonates with him.
And people feel that congruency when he pitches.
Well, it was like the whole room shifted, where when he was talking about peak performance, the room is sitting there going, okay, we've heard that before.
It's a copycat, yeah.
And then as soon as he talks about, he says, we live these busy lives, and what's missing is a sense of grounded stillness. And when I do my chiropractic, I return people to that sense of grounded stillness, and they walk out of my chiropractic session feeling completely grounded and still. And the whole room just went, how do I book a session?